Hey, didn't see y'all there. I'm Dusty Cabbage. I'm a touring harmonica player. It's my soul. You know, welcome to my YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or whatever this is going to be. I'm just glad you're here. You know, you can follow along as I build my skills with my ultimate goal of becoming a harmonica maestro. You know, it's always been my goal. I've toured around this country and some parts, sometimes the world. And, you know, I'm still getting better. Been at this a long time, but I'm still getting better. And that's exciting. You know, I also want to share some pretty amazing stories from the road that I promise you are more or less true. So let's kick off this first episode in my hometown of St. Joseph, Missouri. You know, it's the home of the Pony Express, where Jesse James ended, and some believe one of the lowest paid police departments in the region. You know, also, it's a place that Eminem spent some time. He gets a lot of credit and stuff for Detroit, but actually he and Kim came back to Twin Spires Church in St. Joe to get married. That's something you don't hear every day. But anyway, the point of this page is sometimes the best adventures come a little bit off the beaten path. You know, about 30 years ago, I was doing a gig up in St. Joe, and we was at this little place called Galloway's Symposium. And we was out there, we strumming along, got the music going, everybody's feeling it, and it's just fantastic. And these kids, they said, hey, these kids in the audience, and I say kids, we were all about the same age back then. They said, hey, we got this place outside of town called Walsh's Road. You should come and have an after party with us. And I'm like, well, why not? So we all load up in trucks and vans and whatever they had, and we go out to this place in the middle of bum nowhere. And sure enough, this is a road, and there's two hills on both sides of the road. And they come down, flat spot in the road, and all these young people's having these like bonfires, and folks are making out in the back of cars, and all kinds of stuff's going on, and you know, just having a good time. They had it all down pat to a system, you know. They knew that when they saw a car, and this again is 30 years ago, when the cops had like these Caprice Classics and whatever they were driving then. And, you know, the cop comes over the hill, and they're like, oh, that car's got square headlights. It's a cop. Let's scatter. So everybody goes and hides off in the fields, and the cops come by and find a bonfire, but then they just keep driving. So they had all this thing all down pat, but everybody's out there having a great time in St. Joe out at this place called Walsh's Road. And so I'm talking to this guy, and I made a great friend. His name was Steve. And Steve was a younger guy, really charismatic, but he had been partying hard that night. And he's right up against that bonfire. He's like sitting Indian style right up to it. And he says, Dusty, if I pass out and fall into this fire, could you fetch me out right quick? And I'm like, man, you betcha I would. You know, that's trust. That's trust. You know, he barely knew me, and he said, can you save my life if I fall into this fire? There's a lot in there, man. That's trust. That's what this world needs more of. But you know what? You know, and in full disclosure, I got a little busy with some of the Northwest Missouri honeys that night, and we now call Steve Smokey because unfortunately I didn't fetch him out of that fire. But you know, the moral of that story is trust. Trust is something this world needs more of. So you know what? I'm excited to have you here. I look forward to telling more stories and playing the harmonica for you along the way. It's just going to be a great time. So I'll tell you what, partner, stay tuned for next time, and I hope you like, you follow, you share, whatever with all your friends, this page and this journey, because we'd love to be with you. All right, have a great one, partner.